Take a look at this illustration. On one side, we have an active listener. On the other, a professional completely absorbed by digital interference. That digital interference is costing us. In a typical workday, the average professional retains only 25 to 50% of what they hear. Compare that to top-performing executives. Research shows that elite leaders spend nearly 70% of their working hours listening rather than speaking. Author Stephen R. Covey diagnosed the root of this disconnect perfectly. Most people listen with the intent to reply, not with the intent to understand. Our environment constantly encourages that rushed intent. Between open-plan offices, glowing smartphones, and back-to-back meetings, the modern workplace actively fragments our attention, making deep processing and real rapport incredibly rare. We can treat focus as a technical discipline. Mastering the mechanics of active listening creates a measurable skill that separates indispensable leaders from interchangeable employees. Building that mechanical skill comes down to 4 core pillars. These are interconnected habits designed to signal your credibility and build immediate trust. Pillar 1 is eye contact. The standard here is the 50-70 rule. You want to maintain eye contact roughly 50% of the time while you are speaking and 70% of the time while you are listening. It makes the speaker feel valued without making them feel like they're being interrogated. And if you're on a virtual call, that rule still applies. You just have to look directly into your camera lens rather than at the faces on your screen to actually simulate that connection. Pillar 2 is paraphrasing. This is a 4-step process where you hear the information, absorb the intent, restate it in your own words, and confirm your understanding. It proves you are intellectually engaged. You can deploy this easily in everyday corporate interactions. Just say, "Let me make sure I have this right. You want the report by Thursday?" Or, "It sounds like the main concern here is the client's timeline." Pillar 3 is asking thoughtful questions. Skilled listeners use clarifying questions to remove ambiguity about specific details and probing questions to dig into the deeper logic driving a decision. For instance, asking, "Can you walk me through how this project has progressed so far?" is an open-ended question that invites an expanded response. It pulls a conversation out of a simple task checklist and turns it into a strategic discussion. When you combine eye contact, paraphrasing, and questioning, you create a powerful feedback loop. You physically and mentally anchor yourself in the present moment. Pillar 4 is avoiding interruptions. Cutting someone off mid-thought sends a damaging psychological message. It unconsciously tells the speaker that your ideas are more important than theirs. To fix this, practice the 3-second rule. When a speaker finishes their sentence, count to 3 in your head before responding. It shows deep respect and guarantees they are truly finished speaking. Before we go into the corporate scenarios and the 30-day challenge, if this is already making you rethink how you show up at work, hit that like button and subscribe to Corporate Elevate. We drop practical, no-fluff career content every single week. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video with them right now. Okay, let's keep going. Leaders use silence as a deliberate tool to let complex ideas breathe and ensure they've captured the full context before offering a response. To see exactly how these behaviors play out, take a look at this table comparing passive listening to active listening across key dimensions like body language and response style. Notice the massive disparity in the retention rate. A passive listener walks away recalling roughly 30% of the conversation, while an active listener retains up to 80% of the content. Looking at the bottom row, these habits dictate how leadership perceives you. When managers and mentors feel truly understood, they are statistically more likely to advocate for your advancement, linking these listening patterns directly to more frequent promotions. But to get there, you have to avoid the common traps of the corporate environment. Mistakes like selectively hearing what you want, getting defensive during feedback, or letting your device distract you mid-conversation. To rewrite your automatic habits, commit to a 30-day practice plan. Spend week 1 tracking your eye contact. Week 2, focus entirely on paraphrasing. Week 3, dedicate yourself to asking better questions. And in week 4, strictly enforce the 3-second rule. Let's bring it all together. Active listening requires a high level of deliberate, consistent effort. We covered Number 1, eye contact, the 50-70 rule. Number 2, paraphrasing, restating to confirm. Number 3, asking questions, clarifying and probing. Number 4, never interrupting, the 3-second rule. Practice one pillar each week for 30 days. And remember, in a world of noise, the one who listens leads. As the father of listening research, Ralph G. Nichols, put it, the most basic of all human needs is the need to understand and be understood. The best way to understand people is to listen to them.